Good evening, everyone here. And out there on the internet. My name is Franz von Holzhausen. I lead the design team here at Tesla. And I'm excited to welcome you to the Tesla Design Studio here in Hawthorne, California. We are here tonight to talk about Model 3. But we wouldn't be here without years of intense drive and passion from the Tesla team and leadership on an unwavering mission. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of my colleagues here at Tesla, it is my honor to welcome to the stage Mr. Elon Musk.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to the Model 3 Unveil. We have an amazing product to show you tonight. I think you're going to be blown away. But I want to start talking. Just preface this by talking about why are we doing this? Why is Tesla? Why does Tesla exist? Why are we making electric cars? Why does it matter? And it's because it's very important to accelerate the transition to sustainable transport. It really is. This is really important for the future of the world. We have record high CO2 levels. We recently passed over 403 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere. You can see the chart, and it looks like a vertical line, and it's still climbing. And the last time there was this level of carbon concentration was 11 million years ago. Okay, that was approximately when primates started walking upright. The world was very different. We do not want to return to that situation. And what that CO2 increase results in is a steadily increasing temperature. So we've already increased by 2 degrees. In fact, that doesn't tell the whole story because the extremes of temperature increased by as much as 20 degrees. And that line is going to keep going for some time into the future. It's really important. It makes a difference if we accelerate the transition to sustainable transport. And beyond global warming, there's just the fact that combustion cars emit toxic gases. And according to an MIT study, there are 53,000 deaths per year in the US alone from auto emissions. So it stands to reason that if a vehicle is spewing toxic gas, that's obviously bad for your health. And so to address this, what we came up with at Tesla was what we call the secret master plan. Yeah. So this is the first blog that I ever wrote for the company. And it was originally a 3-step. It was originally a trilogy. Now it's a 4-part trilogy, as it turns out. But we needed to figure out how could we, as a tiny company with very few resources, actually make a difference. And the only way to do this was to start small, to start with a low-volume car, which is why we started with the Tesla Roadster. So with any new technology, it takes multiple iterations and it takes economies of scale before you can make it great and affordable. So step 1 was the Roadster. The Roadster was high price and low volume, but where it really made a difference was that it showed people that it showed the world that you could make a compelling electric car. You could make a great electric car. What was unique about the Roadster was it was the first really great electric car. And before the Roadster, people thought an electric car would be slow and ugly and low range and have bad performance. And we had to break that mold. It was incredibly important to show that that wasn't true. And so we made the Roadster, which is fast, it's beautiful, it's great performance. For those of you who bought the Roadster, thank you. So and we only made 500 units a year, because that's all we really could make for the Roadster. But it had a very leveraged effect. In fact, Bob Lutz, the former vice chairman of GM, actually credits the Roadster with the Chevy Volt program, which then led to the Nissan Leaf program. And really, even though we were making very few cars, it actually had quite a huge leveraged effect on the auto industry. But there was still a lot more to do. And a lot of people said, well, the Roadster is nice, but it's sort of a toy, and it's very expensive, and you couldn't really make a car that people would use every day, or a car that could really compete against the great combustion sedans of the world. So we thought, OK, we're going to make the Model S. So, do it again. So the Model S, any of you drive a Model S? Thank you. Then you know it's a great sedan. It can seat up to 7 people, 5 adults and 2 kids. It's tested by Road and Track and Motor Trend and others as the fastest 4-door car in history ever. And it's got great handling, it's got great technology, it's got things like Autopilot, and it was rated by almost every group as the best car in its year, and by Consumer Reports as the best car ever. Yeah. And again, it was super. The reason for that is not just to achieve some superlative in cars, but to show what an electric car can do. Because nobody believed that an electric car could do this. So what was really important was to show, the reason it was important was not to achieve awards or anything like that. It was to just show the car industry, show the world that an electric car really can be the best car. That's what really mattered. And now, for cars, about half the market wants a sedan, and about half the market wants an SUV. So we thought, well, we'll extend the Model S platform into the Model X. Now, both of these are very important because the revenue from the Model S and the X is what's needed to develop the Model 3. So the Model 3, with very high volume and all the engineering needed to achieve the cost reductions and the capabilities, it costs billions of dollars. So the S and the X are what pay for that Model 3 development. So I just want to say, for all of you who bought an S or an X, thank you for helping pay for the Model 3. So the Model 3 is happening because of you. And so we actually have an S and an X on the side there, and has, of course, the Falcon Wing doors, which did cause us some challenges, but now they're working. So now, then going from the S and the X, we finally come to step 3, or the final step in the master plan, which is a mass market, affordable car. It was only possible to do that after going through the prior steps. But we're here, and we're here to show that to you tonight. And so, okay. So I'm going to describe some of the aspects of the Model 3, and then we'll yeah. So let's move to describing. Well, so let's show the master plan again. Okay, so that's the master plan with steps 2 and 2.5, and now going to the Model 3. First of all, I want to start off by saying the Model 3 is going to be an incredibly safe car. We really believe at Tesla that safety has to come first. We care about you. We want you to be safe. We want your friends and family to be safe. This is paramount. The Model 3 will not just be 5-star on average, it will be 5-star in every category. And even the base Model 3 will do 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 6 seconds. At Tesla, we don't make slow cars. Okay, and of course, there will be versions of the Model 3 that go much faster. And in terms of range, the range will be at least an EPA rating of 215 miles. I want to emphasize these are minimum numbers. We hope to exceed them. Yeah. It will also, all Model 3s will come standard with Autopilot hardware. Yeah. And all the Autopilot safety features will be present in every car. That you won't need to buy an option. The Autopilot safety features will always be there. So. The Model 3 also fits 5 adults comfortably. Now comfortably is the important part here. Okay. But the challenge, obviously, with building a smaller car is how do you still make it comfortable with a bunch of people inside? So there are two important design steps we did with the Model 3 to achieve that. One was to move the instrument panel or the firewall. There really isn't a firewall. We don't have a big combustion engine in front. We moved the front seats forward and compressed the instrument panel. When you do your rides tonight, you'll see what I mean. You're sitting a little further forward. It actually feels great on the front seats. That's what gives you the leg room to have 5 adults, and so that your first and second row have plenty of leg room. Then on the rear roof area is actually one continuous pane of glass, and the reason that that's great is because it gives you amazing headroom and a feeling of openness. So it has, I think, by far the best roominess of any car in this size. Then in addition, it has, just like the Model S, it has a front and rear trunks. So it has more cargo capacity than any gasoline car of the same external dimensions. And yeah, and you can actually, somebody asked me this question recently, can you fit a 7-foot-long surfboard on the inside? The answer is yes, you can. Then with respect to supercharging, all Model 3s will come with supercharging standard. So the reason supercharging is very important, as many of you know, is that it gives you freedom of travel. Okay? It means you can conveniently go where you want, how you want. And a lot about having a car is it's about freedom. It's about going where you want to go. And so the superchargers are critical to that. So we're now at the point where we've built out over 3,600 superchargers worldwide. And about the same number of destination chargers. That's present day. By the end of next year, we will double the number of superchargers. And quadruple the number of destination chargers. So you will be able to go virtually anywhere. And in fact, because the onboard charger of the Model S is able to adapt to any country's voltage and amperage, wherever you go in the world, if there's electricity, you can charge. So then what about buying and servicing? So where we are today with Tesla is we've got 215 locations in Asia, North America, and Europe. And by the end of next year, we expect to more than double that to 441 locations. So the key point being, almost no matter where you are in North America, Europe, or Asia, if you're near any even mid-sized metro area, you'll be able to buy a car and get your car serviced. So now, how are we going to make these cars? Okay, good question. We need to achieve high-volume production. So this is in 2 parts. First, there is the vehicle factory. So our Fremont factory in the past has actually made almost 500,000 cars a year. So we're confident that Tesla can achieve that number in the future in terms of vehicle production. So I think that's going to be, I wouldn't say straightforward, but very doable. And then what about batteries? Because in order to produce 500,000 cars a year, we would actually need the same battery production. We basically need to absorb the entire world's lithium-ion production. That's why we are building the Gigafactory. These are the recent pictures of the Gigafactory. This is a vital element. So to give you a sense of scale, the Gigafactory will actually have the largest footprint of any building of any kind. Okay? Volumetrically, it will only be second to the Boeing factory in Washington. So this is really quite an enormous facility. In fact, it'll produce more lithium-ion batteries than all other factories in the world combined. There's one location. So we're talking about 50 gigawatt hours a year of production. And it won't just be at that volume, but also be producing the most advanced cell and battery in the world. So it's the combination of high volume with the most advanced technology is what enables us to make the Model 3. And it's already operational today. So when are deliveries? Well, they're next year. So I do feel fairly confident that it will be next year. Yeah. And then in terms of price, well, of course, it'll be $35,000. And I want to emphasize that even if you buy no options at all, this will still be an amazing car. You will not be able to buy a better car for $35,000 or even close, even if you get no options. So it's a really good car even with no options. So do you want to see the car? Yeah! Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool's somewhere. All right, let's bring them out. the car? Been good? All right. And this is kind of crazy, but I just learned, just told that the total number of orders for the Model 3 in the past 24 hours has now passed 115,000. Thank you. That's a lot, yeah. Thank you to everyone that ordered the car. We love you. And for those of you that are here, please enjoy your rides tonight in the Model 3. And for those online, you can order at Tesla.com. Thank you. Hey, everyone. So, for those that are watching this online, just a couple things I want to point out before I go into the presentation. The projector that is producing that image is powered by a Model S. There are no wires. So that is a projector on a Model S with the energy coming from the battery pack, and that is what's producing that image. And that is the factory. Like a lot of people may not realize, that is actually part of the factory. That is not a screen. And the people in the audience are the people that have designed and engineered and built the Model 3. All right, so let's talk about what goes into making the Model 3. It starts off with design. So congratulations to the design team. You've done a phenomenal job. I've enjoyed working with you every week. You guys are amazing. Nice work. So there are many elements of the design. It's difficult to actually say exactly what makes it good, but except to say that we agonize over every curve, over every detail, every corner, every element of the interior, the exterior, including things that people probably won't even notice. We care about every part of it. We aimed for something that was a very simple, clean design, because I think in the future, well, really, future being now, that the cars will be increasingly autonomous. So you won't really need to look at an instrument panel all that often. You'll be able to do whatever you want. You'll be able to watch a movie, talk to friends, go to sleep. Every Tesla being produced right now, the Model 3, the Model S, the Model X has all of the hardware necessary for full autonomy. And I think a lot of people still don't realize that. It's got the 8 cameras, it's got 12 ultrasonic sonar, it's got the forward radar, and it's got over 10 teraops of computing capability. Let's go more into the interior. So one of the challenges with the car was, since it is smaller than a Model S, how do we make a car that is smaller on the outside, bigger on the inside? So we took an idea from the Model X, which was the canopy screen that makes you feel like if you're in a Model X, it makes you feel like you're flying a helicopter. It really has this amazing feel. And we turned that around, put that on the rear of the Model 3 so that you could still have a great deal of rear headroom and have this amazing view while being in a smaller car. It's actually one of the toughest design challenges of making the Model 3. And then in terms of engineering the car, we had to engineer it to be a lot easier to build. The Model S is an amazing car, but it's very hard to build. So we had to get the part count down, design it still to be light, but also to make it affordable. And I think that the team's done an amazing job of that. And then where this really shows up is in things like safety. So let's take a look at the safety video. So on the one hand, you've got a car that is one of the safest cars in the world, a Volvo S60. Yeah. So there are a lot of cars that say they are 5-star. They are sort of 5-star. That's not a scientific metric, but even though they are something like the Volvo, great car, by normal standards, very safe. The Volvo is arguably the second safest car in the world. But I think it is obvious which car you would prefer to be in an accident. So the first and foremost for the engineering of the car was safety. Then, in terms of production, the thing that's going to be the major challenge for us over the next 6 to 9 months is how do we build a huge number of cars. And frankly, we're going to be in production hell. Welcome. Welcome to production hell. That's going to be where we are for at least 6 months, maybe longer. But you guys know that, you're veterans. I've been through this. So I look forward to working alongside you to journey through hell. And as the saying goes, if you're going through hell, keep going. Just to give you a sense of the size of the factory, we've got our Fremont car factory, where we are right now, is the second largest footprint building in the world. And that's going to ultimately produce 500,000 Model 3s and about 100,000 combined S and X vehicles, and maybe more if we can do it. But it just gives you, I want to give you a sense of the scale and how much has to go right. So then a frequent question I get asked, I noticed it popping up on Twitter quite a lot. Where is my Model 3? Sometimes not phrased quite as nicely as that. Well, we're building the cars as fast as we can. We're going to drive this ramp as hard as we possibly can. I have here a chart, so if you had trouble falling asleep, then this chart might help you. The point is to give you a sense of how manufacturing actually works. There are 10,000 unique parts in a Model 3, and these are coming from all over the world. About 2/3 come from North America, and about 1/3 from the rest of the world. But as you can see with this chart, which looks like we're being shot with ICBMs, like that is the ICBM chart, actually. Save us, exactly. Well, we need missile command. Where's the missile command button? But almost anything that goes wrong anywhere in the world, if we haven't buffered the supply chain, will interrupt the production progress. When you have 10,000 unique items in a vehicle or any object, any one of them can slow down the production process. So the production rate will move as fast as the slowest and least luckiest component in the whole mix. Then on top of that, we have the Gigafactory. So this is a stop motion. We started off with there being nothing. There was just a sort of desert, and built what is now it's actually now the largest battery factory in the world. And when it's done, we'll produce more lithium-ion batteries than the rest of global production combined for one building. So, yeah. So, in fact, let's go to the Gigafactory live, see if we can connect to them. Hey, guys. We have a whole bunch of people in Nevada that are helping make the battery pack, and the motor, the powertrain. And so we've got giant factory making battery packs and powertrains, giant factory making cars, and giant supply chain. And so all of those have to work together in cadence in order to get to our initial target of 5,000 cars a week, and then hopefully by the end of next year towards 10,000 cars a week. And then you're probably wondering, okay, will I be able to charge my car? well, this is like probably the second most common question I get on Twitter. Like, the supercharger is full. What is wrong with you? Why are you such a huge idiot? I'm like, sorry. Okay, we are tripling the number. By the end of next year, there will be 3 times as many superchargers as there are today. So that should really help out a lot. Essentially, you'll be able to go almost anywhere, North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and many parts of Asia and the Gulf area by the end of next year. Eventually, you'll be able to go anywhere on Earth. Woo. Yeah. So, thank you. And actually, technically, you can go anywhere on Earth, because anywhere on Earth where there's electricity, you can charge your car. So the supercharger is just about being able to charge a car really fast. Okay, so let's talk about the specs for the Model 3. There are 2 main variants. There's the standard and the long range. The standard, well, is going to be $35,000 for a 220-mile range. It's going to be a fast car. So the acceleration will still be well under 6 seconds, 130 mile an hour top speed. And then you can also get the long range one, which will have a range of 310 miles. Yeah. And be about roughly 5 seconds 0 to 60, 140 mile an hour top speed. So it's going to be a really great car. I think you will not be able to find a better car, gasoline or electric, in that price range that is anywhere near as great. All right. So let's head over some cars. We have the first 30. We have the first 30 production cars here, being charged right now, right there. All right, so, hey guys. Those are actual owners getting actual production cars. Woo! Hey. So there's actually, let's see, there's actually a total of 50 production cars that we've made this month. And 20 of which will be used for engineering validation, 30 of which will be on the roads with customers. And I want to just say to those that have lined up to buy a Model 3 and that in some cases spent days outside of our stores to be first on the list, I just want you to know that really matters to us. We really care. And we're going to do everything we possibly can to get you the car as soon as possible. So we're going to work day and night to do right by the loyalty that you've shown us. Thank you for doing that. And then just a reminder, we've got now 3 cars in production. There's the X, the S, and the 3. Those letters can be combined however you'd like. To give you a sense, if you order a Model 3 now, you'll probably get it towards the end of next year. But because the S and the X are in production, if you order them now, you can get them in about 1 or 2 months. And as I'd like to thank all the customers who own a Model S and X, and those who buy a Model S and an X, because in doing so, you make the 3 possible. The money that we make with an S and X all goes into building a Model 3. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for our longtime supporters. And thank you guys for making it. Thank you. All right. And I was just wondering, like, where will Tesla be in 10 years? You know? Mars. Exactly. We will be driving a Tesla on Mars. I think we could. I think we actually could. Okay. Tesla will be on Mars in 10 years. I think it will. I think it will. So after that extended history lesson, what about the actual reason you came? Okay. There's a missing car. It starts with a Y, ends with a Y, and that's Y in the middle. They bring out the Model Y. Okay. All right. The Model Y. Yeah. So, like the 3, it will be extremely safe. So that you may know the Model 3 has the lowest probability of injury of any car ever tested by the US government. The Model Y, we expect, will have a similar result. 5 stars in every category. With the battery pack low in the floor, it's going to have a very low center of gravity. So this will, it has the functionality of an SUV, but it will ride like a sports car. So this thing will be really tight in corners. And we expect it will be the safest mid-sized SUV in the world by far. And at Tesla, we actually always design with safety as the #1 goal. It's like people think, okay, performance, sure, but safety first. This is actually by far the most important thing. But it's also going to have incredible performance. So we expect to have a 3.5 seconds 0 to 60. Yeah, it's good. And very low center of gravity, so great handling. It's testing out at a 0.23 drag coefficient, which is extremely good for an SUV. And in terms of range, 300 miles. Yeah. So we expect to have an EPA range of, an actual true usable range of 300 miles. So, yeah. Yeah. From an interior standpoint, it has a panoramic glass roof. And by the way, after I'm done here, you guys will be able to come up and check out the car. So it's so it's going to have a panoramic glass roof. It really feels like, just like the Model 3, if you're in the car, it just feels like you can see the sky. Seat 7, 66 cubic feet. Obviously Autopilot and all that. As I've said publicly, we expect to be feature complete with self-driving sometime later this year. And then as we prove out the safety with billions of miles and kilometers, we will, from our standpoint, feel it's safe enough to not pay attention and then get the regulatory approval sometime thereafter. But the cool thing is feature complete. It'll be able to do basically anything by the end of this year, just with software upgrades, which is pretty cool. So the basically long range one we expect to be about $47,000, and then sometime in 2021 we'll have the sort of standard version, which will have a $39,000 price point. So yeah. No, the 7 seats are optional. Yeah. Do you mean the lift gate? Yes. Okay. I mean, you never know. We might do better than this, but so it should be at least as good. So, so I think it's going to be very, really compelling. I'm confident that it'll be of any mid-size SUV, it'll be the one you want. Yeah, I think it'll probably sell. I think we'll probably do more Model Ys than X and 3 combined, most likely. Yeah. So, so there you have the sexy presentation. So, all right. Thank you all for coming. Those of you who are here and those of you who are watching, thank you very much for your support over the years. It's been, a hell of a ride, and I love you too. I love you too. We are bringing sexy back quite literally. All right, thank you.
It's a small town. Yeah, it still is a small town showroom, and the people are good people here. The delivery service, people depend on it. They miss it when it's not there. To me, a car is something that just really needs to be dependable for my job. It's my choice, whatever vehicle I want to drive. I can drive a junker or a nice Tesla. I try not to go down the road that, oh yeah, I'm driving a really cool car. That's not part of my personality or the way I was brought up. Reliability is number one. Can I deliver properly with it? Is there enough capacity in it? I can put a lot of mail in there. My route is around 124 miles. Probably about 80 of those miles are gravel roads. I have 38,000 miles on it now, and the only maintenance I have to do is basically keep it clean. The dust and the stuff, it beats the car up a lot, but this seems to handle it better. I've had many different cars, and most days it'd be